So today I want to talk about what I want to see improved with the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Starting off right away, guys, I'll be honest with you. I do love the Galaxy Z Fold 5. Don't love it as much, I will say, and I'll be honest, as the Google Pixel Fold. I love the Google Pixel Fold the most of any foldable cell phone. But this phone is still my number 2. And really, it's the most polished, complete, premium foldable smartphone you can get on the planet. Right now, if you want the most premium smartphone possible, this is your smartphone. I guess the OnePlus now with the 3rd generation Oppo Find N3 would technically fill in there too, because now you can get that in the United States. But I just feel like, personally speaking, this is my favorite smartphone. Again, I don't own a OnePlus. But if I owned a OnePlus, I would say that I think this is the most premium one. Now, can this be fixed, altered, changed, upgraded? Yes, obviously it can. And not the upgrade we saw with the Z Fold 4 to the Z Fold 5, where it gave us a better processing unit. The inside display now has more nits of brightness you can have. And of course, the hinge. The hinge is different. So the question is, what can they upgrade with this phone that would make it even better? And I'll be honest with you, I am not one of those guys who says that this phone needs a pen silo or preaching to the choir. Give us a pen silo. We need that with this. No, we don't need that with this phone. And I'm never going to say we need that with this phone. I don't think we do need that with this phone. I think, honestly, what we need with this phone is a bigger outside display. And what I mean by that is not in the aspect of it needs to be, like taller or what. No, sorry, taller. You got your perfect right here example. Make the aspect ratio of this phone bigger. And, I have used the Galaxy Z Fold 2, the 3, the 4, and now the 5. And I never had an issue with the outside display being so thin. I never did. Once I saw the Google Pixel Fold and I started using it, you got to make this outside display bigger. I'm sorry, but you have to make it wider. It has to be wider with the Z Fold 6. That's the only way you're going to absolutely create the best smartphone possible. Wider display. You have everything else, Samsung. You have waterproofness. You have a beautiful hinge. I mean, you could even add dust resistance if you really wanted to add that with the Z Fold 6. But other than all those things you could add, wider outside display, I feel like would completely change the ball game altogether. So many people who are on the fence about the smartphone industry when it comes to foldable smartphones, they would probably still see the fact that they're $1,800 and not go toward it. But you might get 1 or 2% of people who just goes, that's interesting. I guess I'll pick it up. I have enough disposable income to spend $1,800 on a foldable cell phone. And they'll pick this up. So, that's my number one case closed thing they need to fix, right? Now, let's talk about my nitpicks. Because there's always nitpicks whenever it comes to foldable cell phones in general, let's be tech in general. Is that, what else could they fix? Well, obviously, a bigger battery would be nice too. We see Oppo come out with their phone, or OnePlus comes out with their copied and paste phone of the Oppo Find N3, and that thing has, I think it's 4,800 milliamp battery. Well, that's crazy, right? Then you have the Google Pixel Fold 4,850 milliamp battery. Whew, that's a kicker right there. 4,300. Z Fold 7, Z Fold 6, whatever moving forward, battery life. Improve the battery life of these bad boys. 5,000 milliamp, I feel like should get to a point where that becomes a standard. Standard with any foldable smartphone, 5,000 milliamp. And you know what? I understand the more you put in these phones, the thicker they get. And for the most part, people are like, oh, I don't like that. I want a thin smartphone. I understand that concept, right? You want a thin, foldable smartphone. And these are very, very thin. I don't care, though. Because the people who complain about that aren't spending $1,800 on these cell phones. I'm sorry, they're not. The people who say, this phone is too thick, they're not going to spend $1,800 probably on the smartphone anyway. So for the people who care about the smartphone, who buy the cell phone, who wants it, I guarantee you, majority of people would rather have a tiny, even if it's like a centimeter or 2 centimeters more thickness to the cell phone, rather have a bigger battery than have the same battery or smaller battery than other affordable cell phones. And even then, you got to keep in mind, like, again, you know, these are 2 cell phones right here. Very, you know, thickness-wise, the Google Pixel is thinner than the Z Fold 5, and this has a bigger battery in there. Now, you might say, well, this has more things in there. They have wireless, not wireless charging. They have waterproofness. They have this, and that. I get it. But again, you're going to have to figure it out. Because if you want to make an upgrade, and for those who are saying, Samsung isn't going to upgrade this phone. They're going to do the same thing they've been doing. Copying and pasting since the Galaxy Z Fold 3. Not this year. With the Google Pixel Fold being so, you know, dominant and people love it, and then the OnePlus came out with their phone, the foldable phone industry now is taking off. So that means Samsung, they're going to have to start kicking in the gear and actually start playing by the rules here of upgrading their cell phones. So we're going to see an upgrade with the Z Fold 6, 1000%. We're also probably going to see a fan edition. But at the end of the day, we're going to see something improved in a big way with the Z Fold 6. It's going to be a selling point. Because when they release the Z Fold 6, you're also going to have the OnePlus Open 2 come out. You're going to have the Google Pixel Fold 2 come out. Maybe Huawei gets in there. A couple other companies get in there internationally. And you're going to have all this competition. This is going to force Samsung to really create a better phone. So again, like I said, those are a couple of things that I want to see. Battery, wider outside display. Now, other things you could say is, I want a more durable inside display. I think this inside display is plenty durable. I've had this now for 5 or 6... Wait. July was when it came out. So 5 months. And 4 or 5 months. And it's plenty fine. I have no issue. I use it every single day. I have no problem with it at all. But I will say that you could even increase the durable display inside. I mean, that's like little things they could make better. You could add dust resistance to this phone if you really wanted to, just kind of perfect it. There are small things to perfect, but I will say overall wise, I do understand Samsung on some perspective of this phone is pretty much perfect, right? It is perfect as you're going to get. That's what happens when you have 5 generations, now 6 generations with the next iteration of a smartphone. You're going to perfect it to every length possible. But again, big but here, you're going to have to figure something out there when it comes to the battery and when it comes to the outside display being so narrow. We're now at a point where we have options, Samsung. Let us keep choosing you as an option and not leave you behind. See you guys next one. Peace out.